William Samoei Ruto's regime is mad with lots of propaganda and innuendos with regards to the projects that the government wishes or is actually doing. It has been an era mad with lots of unfulfilled promises, an era mad with lots of culture of lies from none other than the president himself, the Kwanza government. And this is the government that Raila Amolo Odinga feels or deems fit to go and support, to go and work with. Well, what are the chances that Ruto is going to succeed if Raila Amolo Odinga gets into helping him? Now, why am I saying the issue of propaganda here? It has not been once or twice that we've seen the culture of lies or the president becoming a perennial liar. It is something that continues coming in and out. It's as if he just opens his mouth to give any kind of statement, he just finds himself lying. It's like the president cannot help himself but just to lie. Of recent, there are things that we want ourselves to ask ourselves some questions and give critical analysis of these, or even critical thinking. Just the other day, a ship docked in Mombasa with supposedly loads over like 1,000 crew members and also like 2,000 tourists. Let me just get these facts right. But you'll ask yourself, by the time the president was there, where were these tourists? Or do we want to assume that they had already gone into hotels and also, went to other game parks already to visit our national serenity? It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up totally. The president has been somebody who's always been just lying. I don't know to what benefit he gets while lying. Now, this is it. 2,200 tourists and 1,000 crew members. Where are they? Before he visited the northeastern region, out of nowhere, Al-Shabaab came, and now some chiefs were abducted, some chiefs were kidnapped, and they were now being held hostage by the Al-Shabaab. But again, it gives the president the authenticity to talk about security issues within the region. And I will want to show you how this one is a double speak towards the policies and agendas that the president is actually driving at. For instance, now that the vetting of persons living in the border county, and to be very specific in the northeastern region, in terms of getting IDs, the vetting has been scrapped, or saying that every Kenyan should be treated equally and all that. I agree. We have Somali Kenyans and we have Somali who are Somalians. You understand? So for those who are Kenyans, we really treat them as Kenyans, and those who are foreigners, will actually welcome them as visitors to our nation. That is pretty much okay. But now, allowing foreigners to come into this country and have nationalities without following the due process, that is one of the biggest security breaches. So in one hand, the president talks about this, then in the other hand, he also refutes it using another sentiment. It is just the other day I reminded you about the Garissa University attack. It's like the country is suffering what we call collective amnesia. Students were unalived by the Al-Shabaab. One of the REC squad officers lost his life. It was just in Garissa in the recent years during the second term of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's regime. But now it seems like all that has gone to be forgotten. In Swahili tunasema kwamba limezuka katika kaburi la sahau. there are things that the president is doing. You will think he's running this country as if it's his own farm, which is not the right thing. There are things that are done deliberately. Development is something that you can't come and speak about. You see, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. And the Kenyans keep telling you, Mr. President, you are lying. You are lying. We see the Vampire Diaries by Murara Kebaso. We also see this comedian, also, the name I'm forgetting, but the Mungicha Chronicles. You understand? They keep on unearthing stalled state projects or commissioned white elephant projects where lots of monies have been used, but there is nothing to show about it. Just the other day, when there were these campaigns of Raila Odinga vying for the AUC chairmanship back in Addis Ababa. I'm sorry to be taking you back, but these are things that we really need to keep checks and balance on. They said that most of the MPs we saw there, most of the supporters we saw there, went there using their own pocket. But again, there was money that was spent there from the public coffers. But when you ask the treasury or the controller of budget to tell you like what exactly did this money do, give us a breakdown. You know, if you give me a certain amount of money and I've used all of it, I should be able to justify how I've used it. I'll say that I traveled from point A to point B. I used a private vehicle which I hired for 3 days. For a day, this is the amount that should be paid. But again, we fueled. These are the legit receipts that we got from such and such petrol stations. I mean, I should be able to justify how I've used those funds. But now in this case, it is being just swept under the carpet. That is the Kenya Kwanza government. Therefore, even if, and I'm retaliating what Senator Fokisi Onyonka did say, that it won't have much impact if Raila Amolo Odinga supports William Samoei Ruto. Because the question is, we are left with technically 1 year, because we know when we get to next year, this is the only year. This is the only year we have for the Kenya Kwanza administration with the ODM combined, known as now the broad-based government. In fact, let me say, this is the only year that the broad-based government has to show us they are capable of liberating this country and steering the economy of this country towards desired heights. But my question is, if for the past 3 years, from 2022, 2023, 2024, nothing is there to show that the government is actually working, that the system is working, what are they going to do? What magic are they going to do so that in this 1 year that we are in, 2025, because let us not lie to ourselves, in 2026, the country will have gone full campaign mode. We know our politics. We have been in these landmarks. We have been in this political landscape for years, good enough to tell what's going to happen. Therefore, there is no magic that this government will tell us that they are going to do. And come 2026, trust me, there is this common phenomenon that they're going to come up with. Like you see, there are projects we began and we have not completed. So kindly elect us so that we go and complete the projects that we had already begun. Because when the next administration comes, they will stall those projects. That is a very big deception that will come from those leaders. And right away, some of them have already begun this debate of extending the presidential term so that it could aid the president have enough time to conduct development. You see, development is not something that we need to see. It's something that we need to feel. Change is felt. Change is felt. And that is why when our economy is down, the reciprocation in our pockets, when we go to the supermarkets, when we go to the local markets, when we go to purchase items, when we go to seek for services, we get to understand how bad our economy is or how good our economy is. The systems of social health insurance funds, the SHA, it's actually not working. Things are not working. But is there anybody who is brave enough to come and tell the government within, leave alone us who are outside and criticizing the government? The country needs someone who is within the government. We know, I know, you know, and all of us know that the president also knows that we know the government has not yet delivered whatever was in their manifesto during the campaigns. It is not a lie. It is not a rumor. It is something that all of us can see. So, it is either the president is advising himself, or the advisors are lying to him, or simply he is not taking advice. Most recent as yesterday, on the news, we saw people complaining that the hospitals are not able to give them treatment, not give them medical attention from the chief. Why? Even the government has the arrears, the dues that they haven't cleared from the previous NHIF. And the big question that we've been asking is, the funds that were in NHIF, where did those funds go to? Where did those funds head to? Until date, no one has been able to respond to those questions. All we see is leaders who are so gluttonous coming together to make sure that they seize even the small amounts that should have gone to assist the citizenry. And nobody within the government is able to come and tell you why. Because they are eating. Being in government is sweet. They are not asking questions because eating is sweet. They are eating public money. They are emptying the public coffers and filling in their stomachs. Unless we rise as a people, condemn it the way I'm doing it. It begins with me, with you, with us. And a generation is coming whereby all these perpetrators of deception and violence and oppressors will have to fall. The movement is still on. The spirit of revolution is burning inside people. It only needs to be ignited. And the moment that will happen, trust me, not even the KDF, whatever it is, not amount of violence unleashed against the people will control it. When the time comes, it shall have come. I don't know what's your take about this. Whether Raila Odinga supports Ruto, we know the government is not working. Give us your take in the comment section below. Ahmed Khalib is my name for the Unscripted Talks here in DURB Radio. If you love content of this nature and you're watching from my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press notification button so anytime that we are live or we upload content of this nature, you'll be the very first person to be notified. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, DURB Radio ndio mpango mzima.